All right, framework number 2, guys. We're trying to scale, we're trying to build the right foundation, but we're getting friction, or maybe we're not getting the momentum that we have. In the last video, we talked about the number 1 framework, right? So again, we've worked through this with $5 million companies to back up and lay a better foundation to dramatically increase their business. And we've worked this with brand new companies. The principles never change. This next framework that I want to show you guys that we've got to get right if we're laying the foundation is all about organic search. All right, it's all about organic search. So here's what I'm going to do. 1, I want to show you the most simplified way that I know to teach what organic search looks like. And by the way, I don't care the platform. Yahoo, Bing, Chat, you name it, it's the same thing. And what I'm going to tell you is a way that breaks it down in the most simplified way possible. I want to show you about 6 things that I'm doing today that when I work with customers to get that foundation working. I want to show you what I do, what I recommend, one really cool trick actually. And I want to show you 3 free tools that we use to track SEO. All right, so let's go in, let's lay the round foundation that we can scale. Again, I don't care if we're building a shack, a mansion, or a 10-story building. We want strong foundations. That's what stability is ultimately all about. So what is the number 1 goal of Google in life? What's their number 1 goal? They only have one, and that is to give you exactly what you're looking for the moment you ask for it. Every time someone does a Google search and they go to page 2 of Google because they didn't see what they wanted, Google's like, crap, and give them what they wanted, right? And so how does Google function? What's the secret to ranking? The secret to ranking is actually just like human beings do, to act just like human beings. This is how Google ranking works. All right, so what do I mean by that? So let's think about when we were in college. I went to Harding, so I didn't go to parties. All right, it was a very conservative college. All right, but what are 2 ways to get invited to a party? What are 2 ways? 2 ways, there's only 2 ways to get invited to a party in college. The first one is that I trust someone. Wow, I trust this guy so much. I like them. There's rapport. And so obviously, Bob, you're invited to the party. You're one of me. You're da-da-da. But there's another way to get invited to the party. And that other way is if you got some money. If you can buy the beer, if you buy the drinks, if you buy the food, you buy the whatever, there's a high probability that, you know what, he's a little weird, but we're okay with that. You know what, he's kind of a douchebag, but we're okay with that, right? There's 2 ways. Google's the same way. Either 1, Google trusts you enough to invite you to the party. You're not going to screw things up. Or 2, you're willing to pay. And that's why every once in a while, you see the paid traffic, and we can talk about that all day long, but that's not what we're doing. We're trying to set the foundation so we don't have to pay Google. So how do we build that trust? Well, there's 2 ways we build trust. Number 1 is what other people say about you. All right, so again, just like in human beings work. If one of the presidents, I don't care what side you're on, Barack Obama or Donald Trump, either one of them said, you should talk to JC. He knows a lot about scaling. If Jeff Bezos or Mark Cuban said, you should talk to JC. He knows a lot about scaling. The authority is pretty high there, right? So the first step here is, what are other people saying about you? When it comes to our websites, this is called backlinks. This is what Google reads. What are other people saying about you? So what are some examples of this? There's reviews. When people write reviews, you don't think Google sees those? Of course. Because testimonials, press releases, mentions on social media. We got listings, GMB, social media, infinite others. If you were Google, right? So again, my goal in Google is to put who I trust the most on top. Are you going to recommend someone that, man, this person has 1,000 reviews or 10 reviews? This person is getting talked about every day or once a month? This person is always getting really high quality or very low. It's not rocket science. It's actually really simple. Google is looking at what other people say as a gigantic indicator of whether or not it trusts you to put you onto position number 1. Now, there's a second thing as well, right? Because it doesn't matter who refers JC. It doesn't matter if Mark Cuban goes, hey, you should go talk to JC. He's the guy, right? It doesn't matter on my website, scalewithstability.com. I got Willie and Corey Robertson, a quote from them. I got John Maxwell, a quote from him. I got all these people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the second thing is what I say about myself. You've been referred to someone before and you get in, you realize like, I'm actually not that impressed with these people. Google works the same way. What are you saying about yourself when it comes to your website? We already talked about website a little bit, but we dive into it a little bit more here. The content quality, right? So how is this measured? Well, If someone's going to your website, you go into analytics and you look, and just they hit your website and within 10 seconds, everyone leaves. You think Google knows that? Of course they do. So how long are people staying on your website? What happens when you come to me and we're having a good conversation? What do? Well, you ask more questions. You engage further. What happens if you're not interested? You leave. So we've got content quality. We got pages per visitor. Are they asking the next question? Are they going to the how-to or the process page? The speed of the site, Google knows that if it's a slow website, people aren't happy and they leave. So does Google want to put you in a place, right? And so we have mobile optimization. Does it look good? Is the content quantity there? Quality and quantity, both. If I've got this website and it's got 1,000 pages on residential roofing, holy cow, and I got this guy that's got 1 page on residential roofing, all of these are indicators of knowledge and expertise. What are the ways we're portraying ourselves? And so everything to do with Google putting you on top is, does Google trust you? And everything you can imagine boils down to 2 things. What other people say, how often they say it, what's the authority of those who say it, what is the local region of those who say it, and then what are you saying about yourself? And if you spend just, an hour a week just thinking about how can I get other people to talk about me and how can I get myself to get a better image out there, you're going to dramatically improve. Every SEO company, this is all they do. Create backlinks and make your website better, all right? So 6 things to improve your rankings, all right? So number 1 is SEO Optimer, okay? If you didn't catch the last video, go back and watch it. But SEO Optimer is an incredible, incredible tool. It's going to give you an amazing layout and show you exactly what's going on your website, what's happening functionally wise, the speed, everything. You can either take that and it dumbs down the version so it can tell you how to fix it yourself. If you've got a web designer, web developer, send it to them. Hey, I need these problems fixed. But instead of just hearing them to say, hey, everything's good, you got to fact check it. It's your business. SEO Optimer. Number 2 is getting more reviews. Guys, I'm a big believer in getting as many reviews as humanly possible. There's no excuse on reviews. Somebody comes to me and says, JC, I have a brand new business. I just don't have any customers. Cool. You have people that would review you? I give the example. I was at church the other day and someone asked me, JC, do you have a plumber you recommend? I'm not necessarily recommending a plumber that I've used before because I do most of my work my own. But I do know George because George is in small group with me. So what do? I refer George even though I've never used him before. I think reviews are the same way. I don't condone lying. I don't condone cheating, but I can definitely see a review. Hey, I go to church with George. He's an incredible man. I've known him forever. If I needed a plumbing job, I would use him. 5 stars. There's no excuse. If you can't go out and get 20, 30 reviews before you start your business, you may consider not starting a business because you got to have people that trust you. I get my team at least bare minimum 1 a week per person. All right. The Google business page. Are you posting? Do you have it? Is it set up properly? Right? Just think about this. The more presence you have, the more things out there, the more opportunities Google sees like, all right, this guy's, it's got everything. It lines up. There's all of these systems and platforms that they're using. These are coming into backlinks. So we got to use the business profile. Press releases. This is something that will cost you a little bit if you want, but we see some great work and great efficiencies, especially in small towns. So, I just looked up one. I have no representation here whatsoever, but EINpresswire.com. I saw them. They're anywhere from $50 to $100. Again, just get you a lot of links out there. The next one is the roundtable. This is one of my favorite things to do. It takes a little bit of time. There's 2 phases of this, all right? And so if I'm a plumber, I'm going to go in my community. I'm going to find a roofer, a contractor, a lawyer, a this and a that, right? 5. Roundtable is a group of 5. And you just rotate. So this week, I'm going to write an article about you. Next week, you're going to write about me, so on and so forth. And we're going to rotate and just shift around. What ends up happening is Google sees like every week, there's people in your small community writing about you, right? Now, some of you might like, well, I don't want an article on whatever on my website. Nobody's going to find that page. It's irrelevant, but it helps your friends out. And in return, they're helping you out, right? So you just make it as a blog because quite frankly, nobody's reading your blog anyway. Again, this is for Google, not for you. But it gives these little pushes out there. Now, the next version of this is you guys as a group go hire a VA to write those articles for you. $200, $300, $400 a month. You get someone to execute on this absolutely for you. So there's 3 tools that I highly recommend. So again, this is really these foundational efforts. There's so much more to this. We could have a whole expanded video. We teach this stuff for days, but this is the precise things to build the foundation, right? So there's 3 tools. SEO Optimer, go back to this first video. I'll link it. I've got a video where it's kind of showcase it. I want you to go look at that. And then Search Console and Hotjar. Hotjar is this incredible tool. Go check it out. You install it. It's absolutely free. Microsoft Clarity is another version. What it does, just picture this. What it does is it does 2 angles that I love. One is screen recording. So when visitors go to your website, it'll record so many for free. When visitors go to your website, it'll actually record their session. This is valuable. This is really valuable. So now you can see which buttons did they click on? What information was really good? I looked at 100 recordings and no one clicked on this button. Maybe you should get rid of that button and put something else there, right? No one clicked on this call to action. Okay, well, maybe we should reframe it. Well, no one went here. Well, maybe we should. Data is king. Another version that I really like is the heat map. And so it kind of shows you this angle of like, okay, 100% of visitors goes to that top page, all right? And then the next section, 95%. That's really good. All right, the next session, 80%. The next session, 20%. Well, that was a big jump. Something happened in that section that people just lost interest in. So what are you going to do? Well, we're going to take out that session and add something a little bit more impactful to what's going on there. These tools will give you that foundational framework to go, okay, what specifically is going wrong? How do I build, rapport and connections? But just remember, everything in SEO boils down to 2 things. What other people say about you, how often the quantity, and what do you say about yourself? All right, so this is helpful. We're gonna go on to the next section in the next video. We're gonna be talking about social media. Again, the foundations to really scale and grow, the foundations to have as much of a stable business as humanly possible. The foundation to eliminate the friction that you're seeing in business. We're gonna talk about social media, my strategy that I do very, very quick every single morning that gets me millions of views, which ultimately gives me a ridiculous advantage over all of my competitors. See you in the next video.